Hey guys, how's it going? I hope everyone is doing well day or night whenever you tune in and see this. So, this is going to be a general reading for fire sign Aries, the Ram. So, it is general, so it can cover anything like love, work, friends, family, health, etc. It is a timeless reading as well, and I do apologize for the lateness of the reading, right? But here we are regardless. And so hopefully you can still take something from it. Since time is fluid and relative, it may resonate before January 3rd and then after January 16th as well. So that's why I always put timeless in the title. But yeah, if my schedule is going to keep being a little hectic, I might just start doing monthly readings. So this doesn't happen, but I'm still trying to figure it out and work it out. So I do appreciate your patience and understanding. But we're going to get into your reading here in just a moment, Aries. I pulled all of your cards and shuffled them ahead of time. So I did want to say too that in case you're new, or even if you're not new, I usually just have my little spiel in the beginning, right? But I do take one photo of all the cards here in case you want to look at it more in detail later. So I will be posting it on my Facebook page after this live. So if you want to find out how to see the photo later, if you're interested, all you have to do is click in the description box below and follow the instructions there on how to see the photo. I also wanted to say that this reading may resonate for you even if you are not, let's say, a moon Aries, a sun sign Aries, a rising Aries, as we all have all 12 zodiac signs throughout each of our individual birth charts. All right, so your Venus might be in Aries, so if you're watching for matters of love, always check out your Venus sign too. Always try to remember to say that. But yeah, also depending on what's currently going on in your life, you may resonate more with your moon sign or your sun sign or your rising sign. All right. And also, if you're watching the reading and you're getting into it and it doesn't seem like your reading, don't force it, right? It's a general reading for multiple people. So that's why I always say to check out your other placements and try another video on my channel to see if perhaps that may resonate for you more. All right. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. So we'll go ahead and get into it. I did want to do a little sound ball here first for you guys and for me for some grounding and healing for the reading, before the reading. So just be aware it does get a little loud. And if you want to, you can take a deep breath in and out, or you can just listen. All right. All right, Aries. Okay, I wanted to say Happy New Year too, if I didn't say that in the last video, because I know we covered, oh, sorry. I know we covered a longer time period. I think the last video I did was for 6 weeks. I can't even remember now, but it was because of the holidays and stuff. So anyway, I think I said this in a couple of the other videos in the Taurus and Libra one, is that next group of reading Aries, you will be first thing, because I feel so bad about it being late. So after I do Capricorn and Aquarius, because it's their season for that time period, it's still their birthday season, then you will be the third one in line. All right. Anyway, let's get into your reading here, Aries. So I'll go ahead and call the cards out and we'll go in order, but I just wanted to say that we're going to start in the center here with the first meaning 6 cards. So this first row is energy starting around January 3rd. It's not exactly a little bit before, a little bit after, going through all of last week and last weekend. And in the second row here is where we are now in this second week of January till about January 16th or so. Okay. All right. So also, let's see. I believe you have a couple of major arcanas. Let me count real quick here. We've got 1, 2, 3. So not too many. You have 3 major arcanas. So usually the more major arcanas that you have in a reading talks about changes coming up. Okay, so looks like you've got some change here, but not necessarily the most or the least amount. All right. And since we're talking about major arcanas, I'll go ahead and call out the zodiac signs I see here too. For some people, if you're interested in that. So Aries, you did show up in your own reading. We have the Emperor over here. We do have the Strength card, which is Leo energy, a fellow fire sign. And we also have, excuse me, the World card. So we have Leo energy again twice with the World card. We also have Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus. So what that means for some people is you could be dealing with somebody that has one of those signs, or you could have some of those signs predominantly in your own individual birth chart or the other person, or it means nothing. Okay, but I wanted to mention it. All right, so let's see what cards we have here for you today. We have the 10 of Cups in the reverse position. We have King of Staves, or also known as King of Wands, right side up. We have 2 of Staves in the reverse position, 2 of Wands in reverse. We have 4 of Sacred Circles, or 4 of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Princess of Swords in the reverse position. And then we have the Strength card in the right side up position. All right, so when we start here with your first card, Aries, the 10 of Cups in the reverse position, this could be a little bit of recent past energy, kind of still trickling around in your reading. So that means maybe even energy from November, December for some. Okay, it really just depends on each individual person. Okay, but with the 10 of Cups in the reverse position, it's not the most favorable, right? Because you would want 10 of Cups right side up. 10 of Cups is a completion number, but it's also like total happiness and satisfaction. So the cups in the tarot represent our emotions. So if the 10 of Cups is right side up, it would be emotionally content, emotionally fulfilled, emotionally happy, emotional priorities, boundaries, all these good things, right? But it is in the reverse position in the beginning of your reading here, okay, as your first card. All right, so normally when it's right side up, you see the rainbow. There's some people at the bottom of the card that are going to go party and cross this little moat to get to the castle. All right, but it is in the reverse position. So this is a little bit of a blockage or challenge. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and figure out why it's here right off the bat, and then keep going forward because you still have some good cards. Okay, so this is where we're going to talk about, and where my spirit guides wanted me to talk to you about what was in the top and the bottom of your other deck here in relation to your first card, the 10 of Cups. Okay, so these 2 cards are past energy, way back past energy, and this is more recent past energy. Okay, so anyway, what we have here is universe, also known as the world, in the reverse position, and the 9 of Cups in the reverse position. Okay, so this is basically telling us here, Aries, that in the recent past, there was another type of blockage. There was possibly a false start, or a false sense of a new beginning, or a new beginning put on hold, or not feeling like you have, what is the word? Not feeling like you maybe had more possibilities. There was a blockage here in the way back past as well. Oh my gosh, I can barely talk. Okay. And it seems like I know kind of why, because we have this 9 of Cups in the reverse position here. Okay. So remember, you got 9 of Cups in reverse, and then you got 10 of Cups in reverse, and the more current future energies, and this is past energies. So in the recent past here, Aries, there could have been not only our emotions were not the happiest, or we weren't comfortable emotionally with something here. We were feeling stagnant energy, a lack of abundance, a challenge, right? But it has something to do, possibly for some, with our individuality, how it's felt in a group setting, okay? And I say that because very small at the bottom of the 9 of Cups in this deck, there's a bumblebee, right? So I'll show it to you right side up. Hopefully you can see that bee there, okay? So that represents the bees when you think of honeybees, right? They all work for the queen. Okay, so they're all individually important, but they have a common goal. But when it's in reverse here, it could be that you didn't feel like your individuality in some way was being valued or was being felt enough. And maybe it was because your goal or the common goal did not align with someone else's, okay, as far as your expectations and emotional contentment, happiness, right? So it could be that some of you guys had some type of false start in the way back past where you didn't feel all the way abundant, you didn't feel like the world was full of possibilities, okay? And it could be because also with the Nine of Cups in the reverse position, 9 almost then being 10, right? Because you have 10 over here. Maybe somebody was a little hesitant to step into a leadership role, or if it wasn't a leadership role, it could have been they were hesitant to elevate something to a next level, whether it be, excuse me, let me just turn that down, whether it be a romantic relationship, a work relationship, or with friends or family on a deeper level with something, okay? Or even just with your own self goals and self love, okay? Maybe somebody didn't feel like it was the right time and they were hesitating to get to this new beginning because, right, 9 almost being 10, 10, this is reverse, sorry, 10 is the completion number. But over here with the World card in the reverse position, this is also a completion kind of major arcana card because they both mean new beginnings, endings and new beginnings. So it seems like here in this recent past and way back past, there was a little bit of a blockage there. And it could have something to do with obviously this being a new year, a new calendar year, perhaps somebody here. And if it wasn't you yourself, Aries, it could be about the person you're dealing with or multiple people dealing with or general environment situation. They weren't quite ready to get to the next level of something, or they didn't want a leadership role because it didn't align with their goals, their individuality, and maybe your common goal that was supposed to be together with others didn't quite fit. Okay. But just wanted to briefly talk about that. So let's go forward, back, forward, back. Let's go back to where we were in the reading to your second card here. And we're still in that first week of January last week. Okay. So now we have the King of Staves in the right side up position. And this is really nice to see, especially following the Ten of Cups in reverse. So now somebody's ready to step into their power. Now somebody is ready to be a leader, okay, and get in the leadership role. Now somebody is ready to possibly elevate something to the next level in a relationship, in a work partnership with friends or family, etc. Okay. And when you look at the King of Staves card, or also known as the King of Wands, it kind of looks like a very fire sign energy to it, right? Since Aries, you are a fire sign, okay? And you do have these two lions here. And remember I said later in the reading, you have two cards that represent Leo twice. So you could be dealing with someone who is a Leo, or you have a lot of Leo in your chart, or they do, or it's just some energy that's around in your environment in some way. But there's definitely some Leo energy here, okay? But being being the King of Staves, this is all about stepping into that power I was talking about. And now somebody could be, if it's not you yourself, Aries, ready to elevate to a leadership position or elevate in the next stage of some type of relationship, whether it's romantic or platonic, or even within yourself, okay? But it's also about feeling confident, okay? This king is very confident. He has all the tools that he needs. He has a good support system. He has a lot of responsibility too, but he's not scared. If you look at him, he has this quiet knowing in his eyes. That's kind of how I would describe it, right? It's almost, if you can see, he's looking like he knows something. The quiet knowing, the quiet confidence, um, you know. So when I was talking about actually the Queen of Staves, which is his counterpart, right, in some of the other readings, is she has a quiet knowing too, but hers, I didn't call it a quiet knowing. I called it more of a quiet confidence. Okay, but he almost has a similar energy when we talk about confidence too, because even if he didn't have this fancy crown on his head and all these fancy clothes and stuff, he still embodies that lion spirit, right? So he doesn't need all that extra stuff. So it's about the inside here, okay? But it's a really nice energy following the Ten of Cups in reverse, regardless of how you find yourself there. It is positive energy for momentum, all of that good stuff. All right, let me just make sure, turn up the music a little bit just for the dogs. Okay, so your third card here is the Two of Staves in the reverse position. And so this is an energy, and it could be more towards the middle of last week or even this weekend we just went through, right? Where somebody, well, there could be two different ways it could go, but basically somebody was maybe now ready to get back into some type of social scene. They were maybe in the recent past doing a lot of people watching and getting their emotions controlled in a more balanced way. And now they're ready to come out of that for some of you guys. And then for the other group of you guys, it could be that they are, or you are, resisting any of that. Okay, so resisting doing the people watching, resisting dealing with your emotions in a more positive way, right? So I'm just showing you the card how it looks right side up in case you're watching and not listening. But you see the Nile River in the background, so the water in the tarot represents our emotions. Okay, so she's watching the ships go here and there. She's not taking any action. It's not a go card. It's a passive energy card. But since it was reversed for you, it could be that, like I said before, now some of you guys are ready to get more into the go energy. But for some of you guys, it's almost like you didn't do the work that you needed to do in this card if it was right side up. And so it could just be for a small number of you guys, okay? But we'll know more as we go through the reading here too, okay? Now, when we get into the second week that we're in now here in January, we have the Four of Sacred Circles, also known as the Four of Pentacles in reverse here. So maybe it wasn't a small group of you. Maybe it was more of a medium-sized group of you guys, Aries, or however you found yourself, or the other person you're dealing with, multiple people, general environment situation, right, that wasn't doing the work that they were supposed to do, perhaps were resisting going inward in some way. Because with the Four of Sacred Circles or Four of Pentacles in reverse, it's almost like somebody doesn't want to work on their communication in some way. Somebody doesn't want to, well, I don't know if that's the right way to say it. I mean, we always want to have more abundance, and we always want to at least say that we're working on our communication. But here there is a blockage, right? And this could have been more in the beginning of this week or the middle of this week that we're in now for some. But you know, normally you would see this Native American man and he's smoking the peace pipe, okay? And he has only four pentacles or four sacred circles. It's not 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, right? But he's slowly learning to stack his abundance if it was right side up. But it's in reverse, and the smoke represents communication. So somebody's communication here, they don't want to work on it. They're having a hard time feeling productive, perhaps. There's just some general stagnant energy, okay? But it doesn't last long forever. You still have good cards coming, but let's kind of get into a little bit why this might be showing up here for you, Aries. So we're going to talk about what's on the top and the bottom of your other deck here. And here you are, you showed up in your own reading, and this is energy from the way back past, and that will be different for everybody. It could be a couple of days ago, hours, weeks, months, years, etc. Okay, but anytime, whether it's past or future, you show up in your own reading, it is a good omen. Okay, so here you are in the Emperor card, right? Feeling very balanced between your masculine and feminine energies and also able to see things from a larger perspective. You have support behind you, right? He's sitting on the throne. He is some type of king or emperor in a higher position of authority, okay? And then right next to it, you see a beautiful card, the 10 of Swords in the reverse position. So letting go of anxiety, worry, overthinking, being too much up in their head, or just being exhausted or even depressed. So these are both really good cards in the placement that they're in, even though it's past, way back past energy. But we're talking about it in reference with your fourth card, the Four of Sacred Circles in reverse, and that energy that's a little bit lazy, maybe not as productive as they want to be, or just general stagnant energy. Somebody's not wanting to work on their communication. And when I was doing meditating on your reading a little bit here, Aries, I was asking, okay, when you see your own card, not only does it represent what that card means, right? Of course, but it's like you're in your element. So maybe more in the way back past, you felt more like yourself in some way. And when we talk about the mental with the sword, maybe you felt more like yourself in your mental capabilities, your mental decision making, your logic, right? Maybe you felt more like yourself in the way back past. And then here, when we talk about wanting to work on the communication in some way, and again, if it's not you, Aries, it could be the other person or multiple people, general environment situation. It could be because there's a little bit of this stubborn energy that comes up naturally when we see the Emperor, because not so much the way it's depicted in this card, but it's still there. The energy is still there. Where in other decks, he's almost like kind of slouching on the throne. So there is a tendency to get a little bit stuck in their ways, right? So he's an older guy. He's got a beard, some facial hair, but it's not white yet. Okay. So it's not like he's all the way stuck in his ways as a stereotype of somebody who is really a lot older in their prime, right? Or past their prime, whatever you want to say. Okay. Whose prime is whose prime? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know why I said that, but it's more like, yeah, just being that stubborn energy somehow there. When we think of even qualities of, let's say, the ram as an animal, the male ram, right? When they fight each other or they get locked, landlocked, or like one tunnel vision on something. Okay, so it could be here that in the recent past there was a little bit more stubborn energy, but it was still really logical and clear-headed, and it felt more normal to you. It could have been your way you've been operating for a certain amount of years, or the other personal general environment situation. But here it's a little bit of more of a blockage or challenge, because it's like we should always want to grow. We should always want to work on our communication, right? We always want to be ourselves too, and we don't want to over worry and overthink and overanalyze too much up in our head, but we should be open to different ways of communicating, as far as, God, I had it perfectly in my mind before I turned on the camera of how I was going to say it, and then I lost it. It was something about a resistance to changing the way you communicate about maybe even your own emotions or your own needs. It's like not exactly what it is. I'm going to still think about the best way to say it as we keep going through your reading. But yeah, it's not the end of the world, but it is interesting. Okay. That's the best way I can say it. All right, for right now, but maybe I'll come clear to you later. Okay. So moving forward, we just finished with the Four of Sacred Circles in the reverse position as your fourth card. Your fifth card here, it's a little bit of back and forth energy, because now you have the Princess of Swords in the reverse position. So whatever this difficulty as far as communicating something or stacking your abundance or moving forward, it's causing more confusion again in the present moment, in the week that we're in now, or even this upcoming weekend, because the sword's reversed, right? So here we have the fifth card, the Princess of Swords in the reverse position. Now, if she was right side up, you would see her, and she has her hands almost in a prayer meditative stance. She's got her samurai sword right by her, okay? But she has the sun behind her. So the sun represents enlightenment, right? Spiritual downloads, revelations. Oh, now I finally understand. Oh, now I have more information. And also there's water behind her. So the emotions lead her to this enlightenment, right? But it's in reverse for you here. So it could be that there's still, because we talked about your water being reversed in the first week of January to here, Aries. So again, somebody is having a hard time getting to the bottom of their emotions in some way, denying their own enlightenment or someone else's, their own spiritual downloads, revelations, and getting more information. And also, if it's not any of those things as far as the enlightenment, it could also just be having a hard time thinking clearly, right? Because the sword is the mental clarity, but it's reversed. So there's just like all this cloudy stuff. It could have something to do with astrology. I've always tell people to check out the astrology video that I've been making separately for this time period. But I know that technically starting tonight, depending on when you're watching this, the Mercury retrograde is starting on January 14th through February 3rd, I believe, or 2nd. So maybe that foggy mental energy isn't just you, okay? It could be in your environment, in the astrology. If it is you, this certainly probably isn't helping it. But I would say that however you find yourself in that group there, it's not to worry too long, because your last card in the main six is very nice and positive. Here we come, this Leo energy again, another lion, but it's showing you the strength card in the right side up position. So this is a beautiful energy about manifestations, manifesting whatever you want, right? It is strength of the body, the mind, the spirit, all of those things, okay? But it's similar energy to the magician sometimes, because there is a figure 8 over this African woman's head. So that figure 8 is about timelessness of the magic, right? So I would say that if you can just hold on a little bit through the rest of this week and this upcoming weekend, or even the beginning of the next week or so, that you will get your strength back, you will get your courage back, you will get your passion back, your creativity, if those things were lacking before. And also, when you have those other things that are going so right, well, actually, that's not the way to say it. You can't have passion and creativity if you don't have mental clarity in a certain way, right? So it's like saying that it's going to come back, it's going to definitely come back, right? So you can just see the growth here in these two cards alone towards the end of your week here, or your weekend that we're coming into. All right, now with that being said, let's get real quickly into your tarot confirmation cards, because I know we don't have too much time left. So go ahead and call them out in order, and then we'll go from there. So you have the 7 of Swords in the right side up position. You have the 4 of Cups in the right side up position, and the 7 of Cups in the right side up position. Now, these first two confirmation cards are recent past energy, and then the last one is more future, current energies. I actually want to count to, I believe you have more cups as far as your major arcanas in your reading, but let's check. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cups. You've got 1, 2, 3 swords, and you've got 2 wands. So it looks like cups are the most, right? That should be right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to talk about that real quickly. So that could be an underlying theme here in your reading as well, because we were talking about emotions, right? So cups represent emotions. So it's like examining, what are my emotional priorities, my emotional boundaries, what makes me happy, what doesn't make me happy. And if this reading is more about the other person that you're dealing with, Aries, or multiple people, general environment situation, those questions are still valid, right? So what are my emotional, what are their emotional boundaries, what are their emotional priorities, what makes them emotionally happy, what makes them emotionally content, vice versa. Okay, so that is kind of an underlying theme here in your reading as well. All right, so back to your first tarot confirmation card, and this is recent past energy. And the recent past, we already know here that you are carrying a lot of burdens. There was a lot of things maybe confusing you that weren't clear, right? Lacking mental clarity. There was also inadequate help. So you see this little boy or child here trying to help this older man carry all these heavy swords, and he can't even lift one up. So it's saying here in the recent past, possibly you weren't getting the help that you needed in some way. All right, as far as your mental clarity. Now, when it comes in here and is confirming the Ten of Cups in reverse and the Four of Sacred Circles in reverse, it is like normally I would want it to be a catalyst card, but it's not. It's more of a confirmation explanation card. Okay, so it's saying like the reason why you have that stagnant energy in the beginning of your reading too with Ten of Cups where somebody wasn't super happy about something, their emotional contentment wasn't there, their emotions weren't being processed right because they were overburdened with and didn't have mental clarity and didn't have accurate help. Okay. And then also with the Four of Sacred Circles in reverse and the Seven of Swords in the right side up position, it's like, well, how can I work on my communication and my abundance in a positive way if I'm feeling weighed down by a lot of burdens and responsibilities and I don't have enough help? Okay. So even though that card in the middle there, the Seven of Swords right side up, is recent past energy, it still impacts the future current energies of the card on each side. Okay. But as we know, it doesn't last. Okay. So not to worry. We're just kind of explaining why it might have been there. Okay. Now, your second confirmation card, and this was showing up in a lot of the other readings in different placements, different meanings, but it could have something to do with even the astrology of the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, maybe December, right? November, even for some, okay, because it keeps coming up. And this is the Four of Cups in the right side up position. So this means that in the recent past, there was, again, this not feeling all the way happy and fulfilled as far as somebody's emotions here. So you see this young girl, she's sitting at the bottom of the tree and she's looking at these 3 cups. They haven't fallen over, but she's not particularly excited about what's inside there. She doesn't want to drink those cups. And there's a river right in between them. So in order to figure out why she doesn't like what's in the cups, she has to get in touch with her emotions right on the bell there. And maybe she doesn't want to do that. Okay. Maybe it's just too disappointing, too scary, too whatever. But what she doesn't realize is there's a 4th cup right above her head. So if she just becomes a little patient, gives things more time, trust in the divine, trust in, if you're not religious, with a designated faith or whatever, trust in your ancestors, your guardian angels, trust in the universe, whatever you call it, okay? That they will help you cross the river. They will help you deal with your emotions in a positive way and give you something better. Okay, no one's forcing you to drink those cups. It's just kind of understanding why you don't maybe like those cups is beneficial. You don't have to drink all of it. You can take a little sip and be like, oh, this tastes nasty. I don't like it because it tastes like this or whatever, as an example. Okay, so it's like no one's forcing you to do that. But if you just give it time and have the patience, or even look at something from a new perspective, different angle, if she looks up, she would see that that other cup is here. But this is recent past energy, and it's coming in here and it's just confirming what we already talked about a little bit with the King of Staves in the right side up position and the Princess of Swords in the reverse position. Okay, so in one sense, this Four of Cups in the right side up position was a catalyst for you in the first week of January because it brought out the King of Staves. It brought out that silent knowing that I talked about, the confidence, the courage, the passion, the creativity. Okay, but then on the other side, There still was emotions that need to be dealt with, okay? There still was a little bit of a denial of some type of enlightenment for some, or wanting to work through the foggy mental unclarity, okay? Now, going forward, your last confirmation card here is, I would say I don't look at it as a positive or a negative card. It's kind of an up in the air type of card. It's like a maybe card if we're talking about yes or no's, right? But it can also be, since it's more future current energies, like a warning, okay? But again, I don't see it as a negative thing. But anyway, the card, the cup that you got, it is a cup, but the card you got is the Seven of Cups. Okay, I'm gonna figure out how to talk for a second here. But you see this woman's posture, right? And she's looking at all these cups and she's not sure which one to take, which one to drink. Okay, so what makes me happy? What makes me emotionally fulfilled? I'm not sure. I'm still figuring out. So this is a little bit of the dark night of the soul energy, which isn't fun, but every healer or person who identifies as a healer, whether you do tarot readings or you do Reiki or you're an artist, a musician, you're a nurse, whatever, everybody, even if they don't call themselves actually a healer, but if you helped other people in any way, right? We've all gone through those dark night of the soul moments where we're not sure what choice to make. We're still trying to figure out what things mean to us, okay? And so when the Seven of Cups here shows up and it's confirming the Two of Staves in reverse and the Strength card in the right side up position, it's basically saying here, Aries, that it's okay to not know which cup to take, but don't not try them. Like I said before, with the Four of Cups, right side up, right? So when this Two of Staves or Two of Wands is in reverse, it's like a denial of not wanting to even try them, or it's a distraction thing where it's like, okay, well, I'm going to start going to socialize again, or I'm going to start getting back out on the scene in some way. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you've worked on your emotions or your stuff, and doesn't necessarily mean that you figured out which cup to take, which is fine, right? I would just say that as long as you're not lying to yourself and to others, it's okay to admit to your support system, whatever that is, friends, family, mental health care worker, whatever, that you're just not all the way sure yet, okay? And it could be a decision that still needs to be made about something in particular, or it could just be that you're finding that you're growing in some way as far as how you communicate with yourself and with others, right? With that other card here too. But it looks like, it doesn't, this not knowing, even though, like I said, it can be very painful, right? The dark night of the soul energy. You can even Google that. There's lots of stuff out there about the dark night of the soul. But even though it's painful and kind of annoying in a lot of ways, it's going to make you more strong, though. And in the end, your strength is going to come out, your passion, your creativity is going to come back, your magic, your manifestation is going to come back. So just keep trying the different cups, try the different emotions and different things, and just kind of make a mental note, even if it's just for yourself, of what you like and what you don't like. And don't look at it as, oh my God, this is weak and unpainful. It's actually going to have you know yourself more, which makes you ultimately strong. All right. So that is kind of how I see it there for you as far as the tarot here, Aries. But before you go, I do have some oracle cards for you as well. So your love oracle message. Ooh, I'm sorry, I'm knocking stuff over. Your love oracle message, whether you're watching for romantic reasons or platonic reasons with friends or family, platonic love, or even self-love, or all of the above, your love oracle message is, it says, love yourself first, right? Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive, okay? And so that is a nice message for anybody at any time, right? But you can apply it to your self respect, makes you more attractive to your friends and family, makes you more attractive to yourself. You respect different parts of yourself, you love yourself, all of those things, okay? So that's the best way I would say that. And then your last oracle card here, let me just get a sip of water. Is from the excuse me, the Kalima Oracle deck that my dear friend got for me that I love. It's by Elena Fairchild, and the artist is Jimmy Manson, I believe. Check that out. So your Kalima Oracle card that I pulled for you for this time period and even beyond is Trauma Nagmo. I believe I'm saying that right, hopefully. She looks pretty badass. Look at that. So the way that I understand the basic belief about Kali or Kali Ma is when I was working in an Indian store as one of my first jobs when I was younger. I saw a really cool picture of Kali Ma, and I asked the owner and my boss, "Oh, who's that?" And he said, "This is Kali Ma. You pray to her when you need justice for a situation and you don't want to affect your own karma." Okay, so that's like the basic understanding or how I remember him telling me. It was so long ago now. I could be butchering it, but there is a lot of different manifestations of Kali Ma that I am still learning. So let's talk about her real quickly. What your card, and this is card number 6 out of the Kalima Oracle deck. It says, she arises instinctively responding to a severe threat to your well being, freedom, and safe fulfillment. Her fierce form causes the impure to tremble and the pure of heart to move close. She is ferocious in her wrath against injustice. Dispense with thoughts of vengeance. Pray for mercy for all beings, especially those trapped in patterns of conscious harmful towards themselves and others. Open your heart to her heart and allow her to attend to all matters of karma while you remain true to your higher self. So yeah, maybe this is like the depiction, the first depiction of Kali Ma that I ever saw, because it kind of, explains it pretty similar to the way that my boss explained it to me many years ago, right? So let her do the vengeance for you. Let her be angry and take out the anger for the injustice, all of those things, okay? So it says, Kali is so responsive to those in need of her that she will manifest in unlimited forms to provide the necessary protections. Her fiercest forms manifest to support us in confronting powerful darkness within ourselves, others, and the world. In Tibetan Buddhism, a donkey or sky dancer is a feminine spiritual being offering guidance and protection. The donkey, known as Troma Nagmo, or also as Crodunkila. Oh my gosh, I can't pronounce this. Crodunkali. Kali. Okay, I'm going to just leave it there. Is a fiercely protective, divine, feminine being on whom we can meditate. As we place our focus upon her, we enter into her being for her sanctuary. Her appearance is meant to be repelling for a spiritual purpose, not to keep us away from her. So, to allow any fear or aversion that arises as you contemplate her to arise. What? Wait, so allow any fear or aversion that arises as you contemplate her to rise and then fall away. Okay, sorry, that was difficult sentence. This is how contemplation upon this spiritual being becomes an act of spiritual cleansing and psychological release. Okay, got it. So as the aversion dissipates, our sanctuary within her is activated from a pure and trusting heart, deflecting unwanted negative energies and psychic contaminants. Okay. Trauma Nagmo is our black, wrathful mother of tantric wisdom. As our mother, she is available to all hearts who seek her protection, teachings, and assistance. Okay. So I won't go into all of that that's here about her. But we will do the little prayer, and then you can always, like I say, look her up on the internet. I'm sure there's like a whole lot of stuff out there. All right. Something I was reading, one of the other zodiac signs, the card, the Kalima card I pulled, it was like talking about how it had been written 2,000 years ago. So if it was written 2,000 years ago, I'm sure there's lots of information out there. All right. Anyway, here's the little invocation ritual prayer. It says, Wrathful black donkey, mother of wisdom, grace, and power, Tromo Nagmo Kroda Kali, I bow before you with respect. I surrender to your workings. I humbly offer you the attachments, karmic seeds, and obscurifications of the mind and body so that transformation and liberation may occur for the spiritual benefit of all beings. All defilements submit to your liberating presence. Ja Ma Kro Da Kali. All right. So that is your card for this time period, Aries. Like I said, I always take a picture at the end. If you want to check it out later of all the cards, you can just click in the description box below and follow the instructions there. So I thank you guys so much, and thank you for your views, for your likes, for your subscriptions. They're all free, and it does help the channel and promote it and share it with others. When you like the video, it doesn't only just, tell me that you like the video. It tells YouTube's algorithms to share it with others too. So anyway, thank you guys so much, and take care. And next time you will be the third reading down from the zodiac. So your reading will be on time next time. So anyway, take care of you guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of everybody. But first, love yourself first. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.